good pilot, but I
Formerly
have
of
not seen him.
formerly of
Merriman.
Northern Air Fleet, correct?
Lambert was on Merriman for quite a long
Oh
time.
well, NAFs, M&S.
Yeah, I mean,
that whole thing.
It's all kind of that whole deal, yeah. But
Hmm.
it will be the first time I see him fly with Sacrilege, and I will wonder how he does in his first competitive match with them. But let's give a quick run-on of ships here.
After you, sir.
Let's start with the Sacrilege Dynasty, of course. That is Tropo's ship. It is a galleon. Has a Hwacha lumberjack one side and a Hwacha carronade on the other. It's also got a Gatling supporting and a Gatling in the back as well. So that's kind of a funky looking setup there. On the sliced bread, captained by Mr. Lambert, as we're talking about, on one side we've got that Hades Artemis, good old trusty Hades Artemis, with another Artemis side and a Gat mortar on the other side.
Okay, and on the Lud, captained by Wunzels. On the front, have an Artemis, left side Artemis, and Gatling, right side Gat mortar. And on the Grund, captained by Phelan, we have a Gat mortar front, and we have a Artemis side. Now, this is an interesting build.
Yeah, very much so.
Artemis Gatling. So they're trying to go for a kind of a close range Gatling double art trifecta. Very interesting.
Like it. Now, I will say that this map kind of lends itself to that. Of course, Duel at Dawn being one of our smallest maps available in the pool, it does make for a lot of close-range engagements. So that that Hades at some points will not do as well because, of course, it has an arming range. So if you get close to that Hades, it will have some problems.
Yeah.
Which means, the Gatling can definitely be a little bit more effective in that case. But the question is, will the Lud and the Grand be able to get close enough to this combination Sacrilege ship, which definitely has the longer range capabilities?
Well, the Sacrilege Dynasty is making a beeline right for the Lud and the Grund.
Yeah, no spots down, though. They just kind of see hazy outlines and clouds and a little bit of firing. Of course, both the Sacrilege ships were... definitely spotted there for a second now. It's only Dynasty left.
The Sky Invading Rhinos have the advantage here. They have spotted their opponents, but Sacrilege have not spotted the Sky Invading Rhinos.
Yeah, they do manage to pick up a little bit of Lud, of course, returning fire. I think they can see probably the engines being chem sprayed.
Lud's coming out of the clouds now. Artemis shots going down on the Sacrilege Dynasty, but no major damage. Only one engine taken out.
Yeah, and the Grand has actually been missing here. Gatling fire returning from the Lud, actually not nearly in range whatsoever. And so Lud is going to keep on getting fired on. Grand is coming up on sliced bread, however, and starts hitting with that Gatling.
Big Quacher hits on the Lud.
Yeah, Lud is in a little bit of trouble here as many guns are out.
I'd say more than a little bit. Now Grond is really exposed here to the sliced bread and the Sacrilege Dynasty. The Hades shots going down on the Grond, a few missing, but then they start hitting their mark. The Grond forced to descend to get out of the way of all this fire.
Yeah, this is a lot of fire going on to the Grond continually, but it's shrugging most of that Hwacha off on kind of the balloon slash hull there and not really getting any permanent damage done at all, of course, and just one gun taken out through all that. So,
but fundamentally, I don't feel like Sky Invading Rhinos can win a medium-range engagement as they are right now. Either the Grunt needs to get in close with that Gat Mortar, and it looks like what he might be about to do, but he's being tentative about it.
Absolutely. I mean, you do definitely have to respect the range of that lumberjack.
However,
and
interestingly, Sacrilege deciding to get closer, even though they pretty much had the advantage at medium range.
Yeah, another Watch Barrage. Some of it pounds into the Grand, but just taking out a little bit of the hull, and now Sacrilege Dynasty is getting all up on here by the Grand and the Lud. It's in this crossfire.
Sacrilege Dynasty has turned its front to the Grand. The Grand is firing the Gat Mortar. The Gatling coming down from the Lud and the Grand. The armor's down on the Sacrilege Dynasty.
Oh,
the Artemis coming down. Oh, the Sacrilege Dynasty.
Bounce off the side here, and Sliced Bread takes full advantage of this.
Oh,
takes the first kill.
Very well noticed. I did not expect that. I was on my eyes were on the Sacrilege Dynasty. I was expecting it to go down, but one crucial mistake by the Grand has cost it its life. Absolutely. I thought they had a kill for sure on the Sacrilege Dynasty.
Yeah, Gron was coming up and bounced along the side of this pipe. You got to be extremely careful of that around here. Lud will be able to get out of at least Gatling range, so a little bit safer here. But yeah, that was a very
Oh,
unfortunate step there.
Lud's not in a brilliant position though. Oh, you
Gron
lumbered.
has respawned.
Yeah, well, Lud is safe from the arcs of the Sacrilege Dynasty for now. Grund looks like he might be coming back in. It's going to be an awkward engage for the Sky Invading Rhinos if they choose to go for it.
Very much so, but Sacrilege trying to get set up here as well, trying to avoid from firing into the sides of these ribs. These ribs very much used for cover by basically every team that you can possibly think of. But Grand is just going to charge straight forward. Sacrilege Dynasty already at low health, so maybe they just want to get back on it as quick as possible. Grand taking a nice watch barrage into the side there. And now Gatling fire coming in from Sacrilege Dynasty as well, and Lud in the meantime getting on in here into sliced bread.
Just these guys have just figured out the exact range of the Gatling, and they're sort of staying at max range. Look at the Lud here, firing down the Gatling on the sliced range, long range Gatling fire. Now that's that's not something you hear very often. However, the sliced bread does get out of the way, and that's the weakness of, I feel, the Lud's unconventional build. I mean, those Artemis, they've got plenty of range, but when you put a bit of range between yourself and the Lud, that Gatling's useless.
And a lot of fire from the Sacrilege Dynasty actually missing wildly here. As Lumberjacks going over, under, side, and a lot of the Hwacha missed there as well. Of course, Lud is unspotted, so that probably doesn't help any as these Lumberjack shots continue to rain on him.
You see the sliced bread with a more conventional Hades art trifecta. Now, to those people who might be tuning in who are new to Guns of Icarus competitive play, those guns synergize together very well because they're all very good medium-range guns. The Gatling, a close-range gun on the Lud, paired with two medium long-range guns, and it's just... I'm a bit confused here, to be honest. I mean, maybe the theory is they kind of go in close range and disable with the Artemis and, you know, strip the armor with the Gatling. But still, if the Sacrilege continue to keep the medium range like this, I just feel Sacrilege have the advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I will say that they may have wanted to just pack more Artemis on because they knew that there was a Galleon gun that's going to be on the other side and be like, hey, let's just take the Artemis just to make sure that we get those heavy guns disabled. So far that hasn't quite worked out though, however, as Lud has mostly been engaging sliced bread here. They did get a nice jump on the Sacrilege Dynasty, of course, earlier, and it was just a matter of the Grand just taking a bad bounce at the end there. So, you know, it's not like it hasn't worked out, but they definitely have to be a little bit more approach with a little bit more trepidation there as now Hades fire coming on.
Oh yes, oh lots of fire coming down on the Lud. The balloon is down. Lud kerosene to try and get back behind cover here. Just Sky Invading Runners just being forced into these awkward positions. Just this entire game.
Lud's balloon got knocked down there for a little while.
Oh, but look at Grund.
Gone underground here and come up on the other side. We'll see if they manage to actually stay hidden. Of course, these clouds are moving right now, and it's going to reveal the Grand down here fairly soon, but it looks like both the Sliced Bread and the Sacrilege Dynasty are very much focused on the Lud right now.
This is a very gutsy move by the Grand. The Sky Invading Rhinos are splitting themselves up completely. This could either go really well or really horribly.
Yeah, the Lud's balloon knocked down once again, so if the plan was to get like a pincer attack, a flanking attack...
Oh, Lud's taking a bounce. Lud's finding it hard to keep in cover. Lud trying to go forward towards the cover of these ribs here. As the Grund is starting to ascend, the Grund has been spotted. I guess they're going to spring the trap now, may as well. Oh, Sliced Bread coming down with the Gatling fire on the Grund. Oh, but Sacrilege Dynasty turning his gun arcs onto the Grund. The Grund is exposed to focus fire here. The Grund going down.
Yep, Grand's taking a lot of damage. A Sliced Bread now has turned his Gatling towards it as well.
Oh, he's going to be in the range of that Hwacha soon.
Very much so.
Oh, the armor goes down on the Grund. Those Hwachas are going to come in any moment now.
And
it's going to be nasty.
Completely.
Oh my goodness!
Completely with that Hwacha barrage, but the Grand is still taking a lot of damage. Sacrilege Dynasty,
he can't descend anymore.
Yeah, the Grand takes a bounce and takes taken down.
I think he got teabagged by that Galleon. And now the Lud's going to say, screw it, I'm committed now. He's going in, firing the Gatling on the Sacrilege Dynasty. The sliced bread turning to intercept. The armor's down on the Sacrilege Dynasty. A few well-timed mortars will get a kill on the Sacrilege Dynasty. The Sacrilege Dynasty goes down. And now it's a one-on-one junker fight between the Lud and the sliced bread.
Gron has respawned right back into the middle of this fight. If everybody can get to their stations quickly, they can take full advantage of this, and the sliced bread has now gotten the tables turned on him. He was firing into the back of the Lud there for a little while, but Gron respawned in a very, very optimal position.
Oh,
but
look at Sacrilege Dynasty right behind
right
the
back
Lud
in
and the
here.
Grund. If the sliced bread can just pull back behind some cover, the Sacrilege Dynasty is going to put some serious hurt on the Grund and the Lud.
Yeah, sliced bread basically lost almost all of his components here. Gron and Lud pursuing in Sacrilege
Oh,
Dynasty,
lumberjack
falling
shots
behind.
missing the Grond repeatedly here. The Grond managing to continue to pursue the sliced bread. Those missed lumberjack shots may have cost the sliced bread his life here. And now the sliced
Gron
bread. Oh,
bounces the sliced bread up.
Shoryuken!
Oh, and he keeps on doing it over and over again. Sliced bread losing huge gobs of hull health there.
Grund must be a Mortal Kombat player because he was spamming uppercuts there shamelessly. And now the Lud firing the Gatling down on the sliced bread. The sliced bread's armor is very dangerously close to going down. The armor is down on the sliced bread. The mortar coming in. One more shot will do the trick, and boom! That evens it up at 2 apiece.
Full Watch Barrage goes onto the Grun, knocking out most of its balloon, but not quite all, and that's the problem when you're shooting a Hwacha into a Pyramidion. It's just not going to be all that effective.
Oh, and now the Sacrilege Dynasty looks like he's going to go for a ram on the Lud. The Lud, but he's just sort of swiveling over the side of the Sacrilege Dynasty, continuing to fire. Great piloting
and
here.
now turning the side, fully exposing himself to the Grand and the Lud right here, just charging on forth. Will the sliced bread try to come on in here?
Grun's going to finish with a ram.
Yeah.
Oh, big ram there, but doesn't quite do the trick.
Hey, ramming.
The sliced bread coming back in. Sacrilege Dynasty, a few more Gatling shots and a few more mortars will do the trick. And there goes the Sacrilege Dynasty, but the sliced bread is firing in on the Lund. The Lund has exposed his tail to the sliced bread. The Lud's continuing to turn away.
Yep, sliced bread is going to be in a little bit of trouble here as now Gron has turned itself back, nose pointing right at the sliced bread, and with this sustained fire, this is going to be very hard as the sliced bread is going to bounce off the terrain here.
Dear.
Maybe, yes, does take a little bit of a bounce that basically
on the Grund, I
all
think, took
sorts
a bit of a
momentum.
bounce as well. Oh, this is a tricky map to pilot on with all the debris, all the wind. Not easy to pilot on by any stretch of the imagination.
Sacrilege Dynasty has come back in here, but sliced bread is taking large amounts of damage there.
And is dead.
Watch a barrage goes off once again, doing nothing really to that Grand. Here comes some of those lumberjack shots into the Grand.
And now Sacrilege is in really big peril here. The Sacrilege Dynasty is on his own. He is exposed. However, the Grand is taking a bounce. His balloon is down. He's bouncing against the debris as the Lud comes in on the Sacrilege Dynasty. But can the Grun follow?
The balloon on the ground was still down, which was a big problem there. Couldn't get off that terrain.
Has the Lud overextended himself here?
We'll find out in just a second if that Watch Barrage
armor
can
about
get
to go
in.
down on the Sacrilege Dynasty. The armor is down on the Sacrilege Dynasty, but there is no mortars forthcoming. However, the Grun coming in. They're going all in on the Sacrilege Dynasty.
And they took another bounce.
Another bounce! Oh my goodness!
But they keep arcs on the
fire.
Sacrilege Dynasty.
The fire is still coming on. The arcs are still there on the Sacrilege Dynasty. The Sacrilege Dynasty gets his armor up again. Another sliced bread is coming in. The armor's down on the Lud. Can the sliced bread get a kill?
Down as well. Lud is hurting a lot here. Sacrilege
they need a Hwacha barrage. They need it now, but the armor is on the Sacrilege Dynasty. The Grun coming in for a ram.
Yeah, that ram isn't gonna do too much once again, but all sorts
But the armor's down. Focus fire on the Sacrilege Dynasty.
Gets his armor back up.
Oh, he gets the armor up.
Gets his armor back up.
Oh my god! The Sacrilege Dynasty is a sliver away from losing this match. Now the Gatling's coming in once more. And
sliced bread trying to rescue his teammate here desperately.
Another ram on the Sacrilege Dynasty.
And there he goes.
Sacrilege
takes it. Gets taken out at the end there. An extremely close match. Oh my god, this has been a crazy start to both of these groups. Holy moly, Brick. If this is the way that it's going to be, this is going to be... I'm speechless at this point.
This is the hell group for you. You know, hotly contested matches. Unconventional builds, as I said. from the Sky Invading Rhinos, but you know,
It
started
in the
to
end.
work towards the end there. I think just in terms of some crucial lumberjack shots were missed by the Sacrilege Dynasty. Some spawns weren't.
A lot of
I think
Quacha shots